Now, for my personal life. Now for my personal life. Once Ivan comes back from death, cries his eyes out, releases his amazing fantasy novel on Lulu, gets that first check. Again, for the Miscellaneous book sales, you're looking at a good $5 billion, or perhaps more after taxes and Lulu's cut, deposited into me and wife's bank account over a period of months. Hence, me and her will be fucking loaded. So once I meet her in Los Angeles and fly to Vancouver, me and her will be planning Sky Stores, buying the jet, renovating the office, buying our clothes, hiring the architect to build a $100 million rooftop condo, buying the yacht, even leasing out cars. Again, let me show you some pictures of what I'm talking about. Let me show you a picture of Vancouver first. I want you guys to get an idea of how beautiful Vancouver is. Right? That's downtown Vancouver. You have the view of the mountains. See how beautiful Vancouver is? Me and my wife are going to be living here. Downtown Vancouver, you have the view of the mountains. Me and my wife are going to be living here, man. Downtown Vancouver, man. So, I thought of living in Los Angeles or New York, but if I lived in America, I would be able to pay the average American. You don't have to worry about the rates. But I've been to the States. The States is too crowded. I don't want to live there. I'd rather live in Canada, man. Because I say VJ, it's fair that I choose where we live. Everything else we can talk, we can discuss. But for where we choose, for where we're gonna live, I think it's for I choose. Considering I save their fucking ass. Look at that. That's downtown Vancouver. So you see the Pacific Ocean. Me and wife are gonna be living here, man. Yeah, me and wife are gonna be living here. A top-notch fucking hotel. Yeah. Right. Let me show you a picture of a luxury yacht. Me and wife are gonna buy a nice luxury yacht. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine a yacht with an interior like this. Me and my wife are gonna buy a nice $6-7 million yacht. See that? Me and my wife are gonna buy a nice like $6-7 million yacht. We don't have to put money towards renovations, no, but we can buy a nice like $6-7 million yacht, and that's where me and my wife will be doing the table reads. Me and my wife will be doing our table reads with the actors in that yacht. So what I'll do is I'll hire a driver to drive in the ocean, and then me and my wife and the actors would do the table reads in the yacht with a beer. And after that, the once in a while parties, we party up in a yacht in the ocean. That's something top notch for that, right? Luxury jet. Me and my wife will own a luxury jet, right? Buy a nice $35-40 million jet. I've shown you many designs already, right? But you guys get an idea of how top notch of a jet me and my wife will be owning. A nice luxury jet, man. Yeah, imagine a jet interior like this, man. Me and my wife are gonna own a nice like $37 million jet. See that? Me and my wife are gonna own a nice like luxury kick-ass jet. Yeah. That's how top notch me and my wife are. That's how top notch me and my wife. Hence why please keep in mind, buying the jet and buying the yacht, this is all pocket change. Like the jet's $37 million, the yacht's like $7 million. When you have $5 million in your bank, that's fucking pocket change. Yeah. Convertible. Victoria Justice will buy a nice convertible Benz. Victoria Justice will most likely buy a nice convertible Benz, right? Convertible BMW or Benz. Well, imagine Victoria Justice owning a nice convertible Benz. Yeah. Imagine VJ owning a nice car like this. Victoria Justice will most likely buy a nice convertible BMW and Benz or something like that. Imagine Victoria Justice buying a nice convertible Benz like this. Victoria Justice owns a nice Benz. I guarantee you, Victoria Justice is going to end up buying a Benz and a BMW. She'll buy like a convertible Benz or something like that, and maybe buy like a winter BMW, a winter BMW or something like that, a winter van BMW or something like that. Yeah, Victoria Justice will most likely buy a car like this. Imagine Victoria Justice buying a BMW. A nice Victoria Justice will most likely get like a nice, maybe a BMW like this for the winter or something like that. A nice BMW like this for the winter, and maybe a convertible Benz. The picture I just showed, my previous picture I just showed you. Imagine Victoria Justice buying a car. I don't know. Maybe she'll buy a Porsche or a Lamborghini, but women are not into those cars. So there's a good chance she's gonna end up getting a car like this. Yeah, a nice fucking car. Yeah, you're fucking welcome with her. I fucking saved your ass, man. Fucking saved your ass. Right? Luxury garage. Me and my wife are gonna own a nice luxury garage. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine a garage like this. Me and my wife are gonna own a luxury garage like this. That's where we park. I'm personally gonna own 2 cars at a time. There's a good chance me and my wife will own 2 cars each. So we'll have 4 cars. This is where we park our 4 cars in the garage. I want to have an idea where the only way for us to get into the condo is you open the garage, or the garage door opens, and inside you have luxury garage. Inside the garage you have a luxury elevator that takes us up to with our condo. There's something top notch. Me and my wife are gonna own a luxury garage like this, man. A nice fucking luxury garage, man. That's where we park our nice ass cars. You know what I'm saying? Top notch fucking garage. Luxury rooftop, luxury condo. You ever gonna own a nice like $100 million condo, man? A nice fucking condo. I don't know what design video likes. Again, we're gonna have to talk this over with the architects. But me and my wife are gonna own a nice fucking condo, man. A nice top notch like condo interior. Look at something high tech, man. Yeah. Imagine. Yeah, imagine a condo interior like this, man. Me and my wife are gonna own a nice condo like this on top of the roof. We have our own luxury pool. See that? We're gonna own a nice condo. I don't know. I've shown you many different designs. I don't know what design VJ likes. I like the luxury look. VJ is obviously for. I don't like his traditional look. VJ is obviously for the luxury look, but you're looking at something top notch, man. Indoor pool. Me and my wife are gonna own a nice fucking indoor pool to ourselves, man. We're gonna have a nice like indoor pool to ourselves. I like this. This design's pretty nice. Yeah, imagine an indoor pool like this. Condo. Me and my wife are gonna have a nice indoor pool, a nice indoor jacuzzi room. Me and my wife go swimming. I'll have a good like 12 feet deep pool. Me and my wife are gonna own a nice like 12 feet deep pool. Yeah, man, a nice fucking pool. And that's why these actors are gonna be like, oh my god, Ivan Vijay is so rich because they own their own luxury jet. You know what I'm saying? They have their luxury yacht. Like they're fucking rich. Yeah, man. What else? Me and my wife are gonna own a nice luxury office. Yeah. Me and my wife are gonna be owning a lot. I'm putting a good $5 million towards renovating the office. So me and my wife are gonna own a nice fucking luxury office. And after this, I'll stop with the pictures. Yeah. Imagine an office like this. See that? Me and my wife are gonna own a nice luxury office like this, man. A nice top-notch office. This is where we sign. This is where me and my wife will be working. We sign the contracts. Yak is coming. A luxury boardroom, and I'll stop with the pictures here. Right. Let me show you one more office picture. Imagine me and my wife owning an office like this. Me and my wife have an office like this, man. An executive office. I'm gonna have a thing where I'm gonna in the sign on the door. I'm gonna have it say executive producers Ivan and VJ, Ivan O'Mara and Victoria Justice. Me and my wife own a nice office like that, man. A luxury boardroom, and I'll stop with the pictures. Imagine me and my wife owning a luxury boardroom. This is where we sign the contracts. and do the concert arts. I'm gonna put a lot of money into like the concert arts. I'm gonna have like a slide, and I'm gonna put money into advanced concert art equipment. And then when the concert arts draw, we see the images on the screen. It looks like top notch, as well as that's where the actors will sign the contracts. Me and Warren are gonna own a top notch boardroom where the actors. That picture I showed you in my Young Tactics. I like that design. When you have the window, the open window, I like that design. Yeah. Yeah, me and wife are gonna own a nice, like, top notch boardroom, man. There is like top notch. I'm trying to find a good picture here, but me and wife are gonna own a nice boardroom, man. Like a top notch boardroom. Yeah, imagine. Yeah. A lot of styles here, but I mean, give me a sec here. Yeah, there you go. That's more like it. Yeah, imagine owning a boardroom like this. I like the boardroom with the when you see the window. I like that design. Imagine owning a luxury boardroom like this. This is where we sign the contracts with the actors. The actors we float in, they sign the contracts in the boardroom like this, and we also do the concert arts in the boardroom. You're looking at a top notch boardroom like that, yeah. Hence why my wife is so fucking proud of me, because I fucking say to her, as it wasn't for me, it's because of me we get to live this fucking life, man. Yeah, you're fucking welcome, Victoria. I swear to God, I fucking saved your ass, man. I fucking saved your ass. You're fucking welcome. Right? Now enough of the pictures. Right? Now for this interesting topic, I will not reiterate the script developer topic, as you can go back and watch that video. Now for this topic, this will be Ivan's Miscellaneous series, The Secretaries. You're probably looking at a good hour and like 35-minute video here, and it should be done. Yeah. So you and your wife are flown to Vancouver. Again, I showed you pictures of how blue Vancouver is, right? You make plans for the starring Sky Source. Again, me and VJ will have to hire lawyers to trademark the Sky Source brand name. So me and Mark are gonna have to hire lawyers to trademark our Sky Source kick-ass brand name, as well as hire a logo designer to design a kick-ass logo for our big Sky Source entertainment company. Again, you're looking at a nice video logo or something like Disney and Warner Bros. Universal. You know how Disney has. You know how when you watch movies and you see the Disney logo, you see the Sky, you see the Warner Bros. Logo, you see the Universal logo. Where you're looking at a top-notch like logo for Sky Source. Has when you watch Last of Zanus and you press play and you get the copyright and you see the Sky Source logo, you're like, oh my god, Sky Source looks bigger than Disney. Yeah. And the movie starts, it looks like top notch, man. Right. Right? Hire lawyers to trademark the Sky Source brand name, as well as hire a logo designer to sign a kick-ass logo for our Sky Source film entertainment company. Again, you're looking at a nice logo, something like Disney, Warner Bros., Universal. You know how they have professional logos? Well, picture something like that for Sky Source. Because as I've said before, Sky Source will be the biggest film brand in the entertainment industry. Yes, even bigger than Disney Film Studios, Warner Bros., Universal, Sony Columbia's Pictures, Lionsgate, Netflix. That's how big Sky Source will be. And hence why the lucky chosen secretaries will be fucking lucky. And hence why all the Hollywood actors will so badly work for my wife. So as I said before, when me and my wife start Sky Source will be the biggest brand, film brand, in the entertainment business. Bigger than Disney, bigger than Warner Bros., bigger than Paramount, bigger than Universal, right? Bigger than Lionsgate, bigger than Netflix. That's how boss me and wife will be. And hence why all the Hollywood actors will so badly want to work for my wife, because now Sky Source is the biggest dog. Sky Source is the big dog in Hollywood now. Sky Source is the big dog in the film entertainment business now. So right now, Disney is the big dog in it. Right now, Disney, Warner Bros., Paramount, and Universal, those companies are the big dogs in Hollywood. But once you and wife start Sky Source is now the top dog. Yeah. Right. So you and your wife transfer $97 million from your personal account into your business account. So $410 million towards salaries. So $410 million is going towards salaries. $550 towards the movie project, and $10 million towards the documentary. So $410 is going towards the salaries for everyone working for SkySource. $550 million will be going towards a jet. We're going towards a jet, running in the office, all the flights, the food costs for the buffet and all that stuff, right? The CGI equipment, right? The set building, extras, right? The extras, obviously, the set building, the extras, the costumes, the weapons. It's all going toward all that. The beer, food's part of beer. The luxury hotel party. You know what I'm saying? That $550 is going towards that luxury hotel party. You know what I'm saying? The hotel stay for the actors and the people receiving the extras in Switzerland. That's all going towards it, man. The $550, which is more than enough money, obviously, right? And then $10 million is going towards the documentary. That's why you're looking at a top. That's why you're looking at it like That's why you're looking at an amazing documentary. Because $10 million is how much independent movies are made for in Hollywood. Well, imagine putting $10 million towards a documentary. You're looking at like an indie movie, an indie documentary. Yeah, an indie movie documentary. That's how top notch of a documentary you're looking at for SkySource, right? So you and your wife make the plans. We hire an ad company and put out the ads specifically for the 6th team, namely this topic, the Secretaries. Right? Again, I'm going to keep saying this. The ads will only go out to Hollywood companies as C-list secretaries are out, as I only want secretaries who work in Hollywood. So I'm going to keep saying this. C-list secretaries are out. I'm not hiring you guys. I'm only hiring secretaries who work in Hollywood. I only want the best of the best. I only want Hollywood actors. C-list actors are out. I only want Hollywood actors working for my company because I want the best of the best. For more expensive quality, for more expensive price, you get better quality, obviously. Whereas the secretaries, I only want secretaries working in Hollywood. C-list secretaries are out. Because you didn't allow me to make $3,000 a year, I'm not hiring you guys. I'm only hiring the top-notch people. You got what you fucking deserve. Yeah, there you go. So the secretaries who work for the television or big Hollywood film companies, only they will be able to apply. However, there's a good chance that the secretaries who work for one of the big 6 companies will be on the narrowed list as opposed to the ones that work for the television companies. So even though all secretaries in Hollywood are welcome to apply, if there's a good chance I'm going to end up choosing the secretaries who work for the big 6 companies rather than choose the secretaries who work for the television companies. But even then, all secretaries are welcome to apply. Right? So you and your wife put out the ads and go on your 1-year vacation. Again, me and Vijay can look at a good 10 resumes a day and then get the rest of the day off. So 20 resumes a day in total. Me and my wife will 20 resumes a day. Me and my wife will look at, and my wife will obviously help me a lot. When I mean help, she'll fucking help me and work really hard and look at the resumes, considering I saved her fucking ass, and she'll welcome me toward her. Right. So the day happens. You and your wife have decided which 2 secretaries will be hired. We put out our cell and give the 2 lucky secretaries a call, congratulating them and telling them how lucky they are to work for SkySource, which will be the biggest film brand in the world. As I said before, SkySource will be the biggest film brand in the world. It'll be bigger than Disney, Warner Bros., Universal, Paramount, bigger than all those companies. That's how top my SkySource will be. Right? So the secretaries are now jumping for joy, knowing that they'll be working for the 2 gods of the world, and most importantly, they'll be saved and they'll get to experience the international fame with Ivan and Vijay until they die. So the secretaries are chosen. They're going to be saved. They're going to be jumping for joy, knowing that they're going to be working for the 2 gods of the world, for the biggest film brand in the entertainment business. At the same time, they know they're going to be saved until they die. Hence, they're lucky chosen few. So the 1-year vacation has ended with you and your wife. You and your wife fly the 2 secretaries to Vancouver. You congratulate them on getting hired, but now it's time to discuss the contracts and talk business. Talk business. Hey, why don't you let the kid go, man? Why don't you let the kid go? Joking. Practicing my acting, though, man. I won't ask again. No. Right? Now, first things first. As I said in my last video, as part of the contract, it is mandatory that the 2 secretaries live in Vancouver, as the last thing I want to happen is have them being distracted and away from their spouse or family for a long time, considering they'll be full-time contractors. So I'm going to make it mandatory. As part of the contract, I want you living in Vancouver, because the last thing I want to happen is have you away from your family and have you away from your family and have you distracted. Hence why I want them living in Vancouver. At the same time, if they were to live in America, they would if I pay them the $1 million after with the rates, they're instead of making $1 million, they'll be making $760,000. Hence why I want my 16 million in Vancouver, because I don't want the rates affecting their salary. Because they're your full-time workers, you want them to work hard for you. I don't want the rates affecting their salary. Hence why I want them to live in Vancouver. At the same time, I don't want them away from the family for a long time, because they're going to be full-time contractors. They get a good, after each movie, they get a good 8 months or a year off, which is nice. They get a nice break. So after each movie, after Zanus, me and my wife are going to take our year off. You guys can take because I pay a lot of money, you guys will have enough money to last for a year, obviously. Because me and my wife are going to take our 8 months to a year off before we start the organization moving. Right? So now first thing, as I said in my last post, as part of the contract, it is mandatory that the two secretaries live in Vancouver, as the last thing I want to happen is have them be distracted away from their spouse or family for a long time. Considering they'll be full-time contractors, the last thing I want to happen is have them away from their families. So as part of the contract, I want the two secretaries to move to Vancouver. I gotta show you how beautiful Vancouver is. Again, scholarships can pay for their moving costs, no problem. But I need them living in Vancouver, as they'll fucking love it, considering Vancouver is one of the most beautiful cities in the world. So even though there's a good chance these people will be American, they're going to love Vancouver, as Vancouver is a more beautiful city than Los Angeles. Right, there you go. They're going to love Vancouver. Yeah, they're going to grow to love Vancouver. Yeah, Vancouver is a fucking beautiful city. I showed you pictures how beautiful it is. Right. Now the money. Again, as I said before, it's not good to be greedy and cheap. It's not good to be greedy and cheap. It's good to be greedy and generous, but at the same time, don't be greedy and stupid. Remember what I said? It's not good to be greedy and cheap. It's good to be greedy and generous, but at the same time, do not be greedy and stupid. You don't want people to take advantage of you. Considering you and your wife are multi-billionaires and will be making billions off your movies, the last thing you want to happen is to have your two secretaries sense cheapness or degrade from you. If you want them to work hard for you, pay them a fucking rich, good salary. That way they work their asses off and not slack off. I told you, considering me and my wife are going to be multi-billionaires, we're going to make billions of dollars off our movies. The last thing you want to do is be cheap and pay your secretary $200,000. No, that'll be a slap in the face. Considering she's going to be taking they're going to be taking the load off you, making business calls and the administrative calls. Pay them a good fucking salary. That way they work very hard for two guys who really don't. Otherwise, they're going to slack the fuck off. I'm not getting around. If I pay them shitty money, the secretaries will slack the fuck off, and you're going to get delays in the project. Hence why you make sure you pay them a good fucking salary. Be greedy and generous. Right? Yeah. In other words, don't be cheap and pay your secretaries $200K, as that will be a slap in the face, considering they'll be hard at work making a shitload of business calls and administrative calls, and if you were to pay them that kind of money, they would slack the fuck off. I'm telling you, man. If I paid them $200,000, they would slack the fuck off. They would slack off with the administrative calls. They'd slack off with the business calls. You'll get delayed in the project. At the same time, Vancouver is a very expensive city to live in. They would have a hard time finding a place. Yeah. Vancouver's fucking expensive city to live in. Yeah. Hence why, if you want them to work hard for you, pay them a good salary. That way they work hard for you, and that way they can live the celebrity life with you and your wife. Because there's nothing worse than you and your wife making billions. You're living a celebrity life, and in your 16, they live in a shitty house. No, pay them a good salary. That way they work hard for you, and that way they can live a great life in Vancouver. Because Vancouver is a fucking, just like New York is a super expensive city to live in. Vancouver is a fucking expensive city to live in, man. It's a fucking expensive city to live in. It's top notch city, man. Right. However, at the same time, don't be stupid and let them take advantage of you. For example, if the two secretaries were to be greedy and demand a $2.5 million salary, you and your wife will have to be strict and say no, as they're not worth it. So if the secretaries come along and say greedy, I want $2.5 million, I'm not going to say no. I'm not paying $2.5 million. You're not worth that. The maximum I'm going to pay you is $1 million, as that is a good fucking salary, as you won't make this in fucking Hollywood. Yeah, there you go. So the amount that I'll be willing to pay is a rich $1 million yearly salary. So $4 million for the 3 years and 9 months, which is a fucking nice salary for a secretary. As in Hollywood, they probably make like $200,000-$300K. Hence, I'm paying them a nice fucking salary, and hence they'll work hard for two gods of the world. Because if I'm paying you $1 million salary, the secretaries can afford to buy a nice $2 million house. You can buy a nice $2.5 million house in Vancouver. You can lease a nice Benz, a nice Porsche for yourself. Like, you're living a great life. Yeah. Also, it doesn't hurt to give them a nice $75,000 raise, So for the organization movie, the secretaries will be making a rich yearly $1,075,000 for the contract of the movie. Give them a raise, that way they feel invested in your company. Hence, I don't like me and my wife can easily not choose to give our team a raise, but if you don't give them a raise, they're not going to be as invested in your company. Hence, why it's good to give them a raise, that way they feel invested in your company. Right? There's nothing worse than you and your wife making billions for every movie and you don't give your team a raise. No, give your secretaries a nice raise, a nice $7,000 raise. That way they feel invested in your company. Now the duties of the secretaries. So it's the first year for Last Hope for Miscellaneous project. Again, you're looking at the best movie made for that. Again, as I've said in my script developer video, you and your wife for the first couple of weeks or so will have to do board meetings with your team and discuss what needs to be accomplished for 3 years and 9 months of the movie. Hence why once me and VJ sell in Vancouver, we will hire a professional typewriter, pay him a few thousand, and plan out the 3 years and 9 months of Zane's. Again, I gave you an idea of my plan scarcity which right lead. So once I start the process of Last of Zane's, the office is renovated and I've hired my secretaries, I hired my 6 team. Me and my wife are gonna have to what? When we arrive to Vancouver, we're going to have to hire a typewriter and we'll have them plan out the 3 years and 9 months. That way, when we do board meetings, we can give our 6 team like sheets. That way, they know what needs to be accomplished for 3 years and 9 months. And that's why my wife's selling stuff he made. Yeah, there you go. Right? So you hire a typewriter, pay him a couple $1,000s, have him write, you and your wife tell him what you want to accomplish for 3 years and 9 months. He types it all on the laptop. That way, when you do the board meetings, the team will know what needs to be accomplished for 3 years and 9 months. Again, I'm only giving you a general idea here. So I'm giving you a general idea here. Once I move to Vancouver, me and my wife will hire a typewriter and we'll have him write down what we want to accomplish for 3 years and 9 months. That way, when we do board meetings, our 6 team knows what needs to be accomplished. And that's why my wife's some self-made, as I said before. And that's why my wife's some self-made, because I have everything planned out to detail for the 3 years and 9 months of the Last Hope for Zane's movie. So it's the first year for Last Hope for Zane's movie. I like the best movie made for that. The 2 secretaries, when they arrive to the office, the first thing they will have to do is write a shitload of ads for the crew to apply. So the first thing I want the secretaries to do, I want the secretaries to write out ads, put out ads for the crewmen to apply, as well as the casting calls. They're gonna have to write the ads for the casting calls, write the ads for the crewmen to apply. They're gonna have to write a shitload of ads for the crewmen that are applying, as well as for the casting calls. They'll also have to put ads for the casting calls for the Last Hope for Zane's project. That's what I want the secretaries to focus on first. Right? At the same time, once Skyscraper is official for business, the chosen Hollywood actors, their agent will be calling my fucking office, so the secretaries will have to take those calls and tell the actors, tell the actors what like, I don't know, like what's your ask. You know what I'm saying? The secretaries will give the actors agent a call. Congratulations, you've been casted for the role. They're gonna have to let the actor agents know when the actors will be flown in the second year. Ask the actors agents what's their ask. How much you actors want to get paid for the movie. The secretaries have to make those administrative calls. At the same time, they're gonna have to take calls from businesses. There's a good chance Amazon will call. They're gonna have to take calls from Amazon. Okay, Ivan wants to have a meeting with you for the Blu-ray 4K discs. They're gonna have to make those calls, yeah. Right? So the 4 will be looking at the resumes for the crewmen the first year, and once chosen, they will send the information to the secretaries, and the secretaries will also have to call all 1,800, 2,000 crewmen back, telling them that they are hired. So the first year, once the secretaries put out the ads for the crewmen to apply, the 4 team will be looking at the resumes, and as they choose the hired candidates, they have to send that information to the secretaries, and the secretaries are going to have to call all the hired candidates back, the crewmen back, all 1,800, 2,000 crewmen back. A lot of work, but hence why you pay them a nice woman salary. That way they work hard for 2 guys of the world, right? So you have to call them all back, tell them, and congratulate them, and tell them that they were hired. They have to send them their schedules for the 3rd year. They have to do all that stuff. The head of production will create the schedules, but the secretary is responsible for sending the schedules to the people, right? Right. They will also have to let the agents know when the actors will be flown the 2nd year, the 1st year. Once that's finished, the 1st year, the secretaries will also be helping the others with business calls, as I do not pay you one at a time. So once the administrative work is all taken care of, so once the secretaries have put out the ads, have created the ads for the crewmen, created casting calls for the actors. I've called the actors' agents, let them know about the signing, the takeouts, letting them know about sending them their schedules, sending the crewmen schedules. Once that's all taken care of, once they've called the crewmen back, tell them that they're hired, I want the secretaries helping you with business calls. I don't pay you women else for nothing. Help them. Hell, keep track of the dock. Pay for the dock crew's flights. Pay for their feeding. Pay for their living. Yeah, help out the 14. I want you helping out the 14. Whenever you don't have them that much administrative work, I want you helping yours with business calls. I don't pay you women else for nothing. Hence, my secretaries will be my co-assistant. Will be my co-assistant producers. They'll be my administrative assistants, but they'll also be my co-assistant producers. Which I might count off here.